Hello, boys and girls. We together again, you in your house and me in my house. Well, boys and girls, shall we start off by singing about that hunk of tin with those beautiful onomatopoeia words, remember? Beep, beep, rattle, rattle, and that zoom noise, and my favourite of all, honk, honk. So get ready to sing with using all those wonderful onomatopoeia words. I'm a little hunk of tin, nobody knows what shape I'm in. I've got 4 wheels and a running board. I ain't no Chevy and I ain't no Ford. Honk, honk, rattle, 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 crash, crash, beep, beep. Let's do it again and get ready to sing all those beautiful words. I'm a little hunk of tin, nobody knows what shape I'm in. I've got 4 wheels and a running board. I ain't no Chevy and I ain't no Ford. Honk, honk, rattle, rattle, beep, beep, crash, crash, beep, beep. Put another 2 beeps in there, did you catch them? Well done, good on you. And isn't beep a lovely word because it means beep, beep, and it's spelt like a beep, beep. Oh, I can't trick you, you're just too clever. Okay, my little sweethearts, now, just put that down there. I've been talking about lots of different trucks and vintage cars, and I've shown you this special truck the other day. And remember, it's a special truck because it's a tip truck. That means that it can, the big tray that's on the back can be filled up, and then it can tip all the contents, whether it be stones or sand or all sorts of things, out into a nice big pile.
They're really big, those trucks.
They're absolutely huge, aren't they,
I've got them in
Steve?
Waihi, and I stood next to the back wheel, and I wasn't even as big as the tyre.
Now, boys and girls, what Steve means is that Waihi, they're digging out massive loads of dirt, aren't they, Steve?
Yes, the hole goes down for miles.
But they're looking for something that's inside the dirt that's very precious. Can you guess what it is?
It's gold.
Gold. And so they're taking out the gold, but these trucks are more like this. They're sort of very, very wide
Yeah, that's
trucks.
the sort of truck they've got.
And they are huge, absolutely enormous. If Steve was standing there, he would only reach up to the top of the wheel.
Yeah, that's it.
Amazing, isn't it?
Massively big.
And they take the most enormous loads of dirt, and then they take it so that it can be put into a special machine that takes out the gold and crumples up all the rocks and all the dirt and looks for the gold. Well, that's another story. But this is the most enormous tip truck, really, but it's specially designed to get that gold out. And here's another type of tip truck. You wouldn't think that this one would tip. See, it's got its big, we've talked about that, its big exhaust pipe for taking up the exhaust, and then it's got the big tip part there. And that is huge. That's a big truck. Look how many wheels it's got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lots of gigantic wheels. But still a tip truck. Now, I've got a special book that I got from the preschool when I went in. And it was sitting all alone. And I know that we're talking about dump trucks. So there it is. I'm going to read it to you because it's such a special book. And it's about a boy called Ben, and I've got a boy called Ben. If I could drive a dump truck. Now that's the title, If I Could Drive a Dump Truck. It's the title of the book. And this story was written by a man named Michael. And it was illustrated by a man or a lady, I'm not sure, called Uldis. So Michael wrote the words and Uldis did the beautiful pictures, and they're really beautiful pictures. So I think you can guess what the story is going to be about. page. My name is Ben. This is my toy dump truck. I like to pretend that my sandbox is a big construction site. Now, boys and girls, I thought you might be able to do this at home. If you've got, there's that big digger that Steve was talking about at the gold mine. It's wider than any normal truck that we have on our roads, and it has, look, there's his exhaust coming out, and that's the part that tips up. Huge, huge trucks. Remember, Steve said he stood there and he only came to the top, but this is a toy, so it's smaller, of course. First, I fill the truck with sand. Then I lift the truck's bed and dump the sand out. Shh. What if I could drive a dump truck? I wonder what that would feel like, boys and girls. How would you feel if you were not just with a toy, but you were inside the cab of the giant dump truck? I would dump large loads wherever they were needed. Look, there's the big dump truck. There's you inside, dumping. Look, I think it might be gravel because look, there's all dirt. The excavator's been in, and there's the men working and ladies. They've got their safety helmets on, and they've got these high-vis jackets so that they can be seen clearly and not run over. And look, here you are, you've backed beep, 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 beep. Down the road you've come, and you've backed back to drop all the gravel. I wonder what these people might be making. Let's see. The front of my dump truck is called the cab. That's where I sit when I drive. Isn't it tiny little space right on the top? You get a good view. The backyard of my the back part of my dump truck is called the bed. The stuff that I'm carrying goes there. Now, isn't that interesting? I didn't know that. I thought this was a big tray, but they call it a bed. So you are learning lots of things just like I am. And on the bed is a whole lot of stones. Look, a bed of stones. My dump truck can carry gravel, sand, rocks, or dirt. A covering keeps the load from falling out when I travel. So look, I wonder, can you remember what Lynda said? Why do they need this big cover over the gravel or the sand or the rock? Can you remember? Yes, it's to protect it from falling on the road. Imagine travelling along. This car comes into this lane and whoosh, what would happen if it fell off? So that's the reason it has that big cover tied securely on so that the gravel and or the sand or whatever you're carrying doesn't fall onto a car or onto the road. The great thing about my dump truck is that I can unload it without help from anyone else. I press a lever in the cab, then the bed lifts up and the gravel pours out. Look at it coming out. And you're inside there not doing much, pressing a little button. Isn't that fascinating? So there you are inside your big dump truck, and they've look, see, there's the, now what's that, Steve? That's hydraulics, isn't it?
It's called a hydraulic ram, and it pushes up. You can see the silver part comes out.
So there's the silver part, and this is usually inside, and it pushes it up, and as that silver part comes up, so too does the tray or the bed and then of course all the gravel comes out. Look out, don't get gravel on you, my goodness. That's very close, isn't it? My dump truck and I help at the site of a new building. Oh, so they're going to be building something there. Sometimes big loads of dirt need to be moved from one part of a construction site to another. Another truck called a loader fills my dump truck with dirt. So here's the big loader tipping the dirt into the big truck. Now, we had that in your special video, Stephen, didn't we, in Magic Land? The big
Front-end loader.
Front-end loader was digging the dirt and popping it into the truck that you made with the boys and girls. Fascinating. Oh, look, there's a big cover over something there. Protective hats. I wonder why those men have to wear those hats. I wonder what could happen. I drive my dump truck over to a big hole. Then I dump in the dirt. And now the hole is filled. Now, boys and girls, look, there's the size of the men. Like Steve, they only come up to the top of the wheel. That's how big this dump truck is. Now, can you imagine if they had a little wee wheelbarrow, how long it would take to fill all that dirt into this big hole? So machines are very, very important for jobs, aren't they, boys and girls? Next, my dump truck and I help landscapers make a beautiful garden. First, my dump truck carries in a load of topsoil. Now, I wonder if you could tell me what's the difference between ordinary soil and topsoil? I wonder. I know that Steve put some topsoil in his garden before he planted his little radishes. So I think topsoil might be soil that's really special, got lots of goodies.
You're right, it's the layer that's right at the top where things can grow in it. So once you get a bit deeper down, you get clay and rocks and stuff. So it's better to get the topsoil, which can grow plants. Well, boys and girls, did you have that idea too? You're just clever like Steve. Then I dump a load of wood mulch. Now, mulch is really interesting. The mulch is made from shredded branches that have been trimmed from trees, and it protects the topsoil. So the dirt goes down first. Look at the big digger doing that. And then the mulch, which is leaves and little branches, all mulched up. And that is actually really, really great recycling, because they get all these leaves that have fallen off the ground, off the trees that they've cut down, off the branches, not trees, and then all the branches, and they're all mulched up into lots of little pieces. So they're actually recycling parts of a tree that they didn't want. So isn't that cool? That's what Marianne's been talking about. Finally, my dump truck dumps a load of large stepping stones. The landscapers will use these stones to create a path through the garden. Oh, isn't that going to be beautiful? Look, boys and girls, there's the path. Look, it goes right around there and around there. Look, little flags. I wonder what those flags might mean. Maybe they're showing where the path's going to go. And look, here's a little stones going on there to make it look beautiful. Once again, the men are wearing their protective hats. They haven't got their high-vis things on though, vests on, have they? Oh, we've finished the job, and doesn't it look good? My goodness, isn't that most beautiful? Look, trees and little path. It almost looks as good as Steve's Magic Land. And look, you're going off, boys and girls, in your cab of your big tip truck. There's no end to the great things I would do if I could drive a dump truck. Isn't that lovely? Well, we need to say goodbye to Ben. Thank you for showing us your dump truck. We've learnt lots about things or uses that the dump truck has. Very, very special vehicle. And remember, Hi, Ben.
and remember, boys and girls, that there's a big one. That's the model of that great big one. You might have one of those at home, or your brother. When we go back to preschool, Lynda's going to take these back to preschool, and you'll be able to have a little play with those, and you might be able to be like Ben and pretend that you're dumping all those wonderful things like stones and topsoil to make something really
I think you've got a big one like Ben's in the sandpit.
We actually have, Steve, and we've got a couple of diggers too. So look, moving sand, very important job. So isn't that exciting? Now, boys and girls, I want to show you two things. One more, just before we go, because Marianne is talking about racing cars today. And I've got this one little racing car that belongs to Steve. And it is a really special one. Marianne knows so much more about cars than I do, but I just love this one. It's yellow, and that's Steve's favourite colour. But look at the big wheels on the back. It's got a huge motor. It's got a special foil up here to make it go very fast. And there's a different type of racing car. This racing car is a rally car. And a rally car, they take an ordinary car, they usually take out its motor, or they do special things to the motor to make it really fast. And they race these little cars around dirt tracks. Really beautiful little cars. And they can go so quickly. So, boys and girls, we're going to sing a new song today, and it's a really good counting song, and it's counting those little racing cars. So see if you can join in with me, okay? 1 little, 2 little, 3 little racing cars, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little racing cars, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little racing cars, 10 little racing car, zooming, and they will zoom. Well, we'll sing that again tomorrow because it's just a new song, but it's kind of a song that we already know because we already know how to sing to 10, don't we, boys and girls? So get ready, bring your fingers along, bring your singing voices tomorrow, and we'll sing that special song. And don't forget to have a look at Marianne's special, her little video all about racing cars today. Right, until tomorrow, love you guys.